Good day, YouTubers, and thank you for tuning in to today's very different video on YouTube. In fact, very different in particular, because I'm not going to start doing the backyard garden tours yet, because I'm actually going to start feeding the birds. And actually, yes, this bird feeder here, as you can see, has been tarnished. So obviously I can't use that anymore. But what I'm really going to do is I'm going to be feeding the birds for the backyard garden, and hopefully I'm going to look at something totally different, because obviously we've got a few bird feeders that are still, well, a little bit intact. There you go, I've successfully opened it up, and it is quite a windy day outside somehow. We've got a lot of wind. It is still the remnants of Storm Amy. The wind is blowing. Oh my crikeys, I don't know when is this wind going to straightforward stop. Remembering we are straightforward at the early part of October, the very early part of, mid-autumn, as I like to call it. And there's the zinnia seed heads. Now, noticing that the zinnias have also started to become a seed head. Now, one thing I've noticed is that birds like to nick off a lot of seeds, especially sunflower seeds. I can hardly... Well, there's a wasp here who's clinging onto the thorny blackberry shrub, which should not be there. But I'll keep the wasp, and right next to the wasp is something quite interesting. What is that? Is that a seven-spotted ladybird, or is it a harlequin ladybird? Now, I'm actually quite curious of what ladybird is that. Does anyone know your ladybirds? Your seven-spotted ones versus other ladybird species? Oh, sorry, I think I must have straightforward injured him a bit. That's not that great to see. It's not that nice. But anyways, that ladybird there, tell you what, it seems like that the hot and dry summer that we had has caused a massive population explosion of ladybirds. You know, every hot and dry weather event in the summer leads to another invasion of ladybirds during the autumn, which is actually fantastic. Very good season for them, because if you really are planting crops and then you've got lots of nasty and pesky aphids, well then these critters are straightforward, very helpful to you, because they're very much the hero, aren't they? We've got some wheat, a lot of wheat right there, and obviously we've got lots and lots of dirty tubs. Now I'm not sure how much time am I going to clear all of this up. There's some rotten old cardboard. There's what looks like to be a wild cabbage flower with some wheat as well too. Nice to see that. And I'm actually going to go ahead and grab the, I'm going to grab this bit here. Oh, okay, I'm going to grab the feeder. I'll talk about the flowers later on, because we're starting to see some various different things that are going around across from my backyard garden. Because I can tell you guys, my backyard garden has not been that simple, but boy oh boy, what an amazing contrast. And there you go, look at that. The wind is blowing again. And as always, the fir tree and also the other trees in the background, they are literally just blowing like hell. So much so that we've already had wind speeds of up to about 49 miles per hour, which is quite shocking to see. I'm just enjoying the wind for a bit. There's some geraniums here. The big nasturtium cover, as we already spoke in previous videos. Now, of course, yes, I would have actually straightforward ate some of the nasturtium leaves and also the flowers. I'm actually quite curious about eating one of its petals off. Let me try and grab a petal and see how it tastes. Okay, it would have been better off if I would have started washing them. I don't think I've ever tried nasturtium flower petals. But they taste nice. Let me try and eat a bit of a plant first. The leaves are actually quite nice. I should have just washed them, but they're quite delicious. You can actually eat those up if you want to, but oh well. Maybe I can just straightforward eat one of its leaves. Maybe I can give it a good wash, and I can just straightforward start trying one of them out, because I've never ate a nasturtium leaf in my lifetime. I'm going to start eating it. I'm going to start washing it thoroughly, like so. Okay, I want to try and eat it. Okay. Very nice and delicious. I've never ever tried nasturtium leaves before. They're actually quite delicious. Anyways, let me just apply some bird food onto my bird feeder. As always, as per usual. Well, not always, because seems like, hey, Ivan must be straightforward. Totally not the greedy to try and spend as much money as I can. Well, spend as much money as he can, but let me try and, okay, so let me try and rip the whole bag apart. All like so. Because I want to get lots and lots of seeds in here. Of course, I'm trying to, it might be very hard to pour off, as most of the seeds will be highly escaping from the bird feeder. Not the best result that I can pull off with, but that's what I'm going to do. Look at that, and I've just made a big mess of bird foodness. Look at that, look how many bird seeds there are. I'm just going to close this back. Yeah, there's actually too much of it going around here. Right, let me just go ahead and put the rest of the remaining bird feeders. I'm going to put it onto a new tub. I know it hasn't been washed, but I'm going to start filling up some already fallen seeds with this thing. I'm actually going to straightforward use the bird food. Something like that, which would be somehow fantastic. And boy oh boy, what a lot of bird food this is. I don't think, how much of it is it going to be finished? I'd probably say, I don't think it's going to be there for quite some time now, because this is only just a one-time sort of one anyway. And I'll tell you what, look at the amount of bird food. I'm sure I can get these out if I just brush them out like so. Mind you, I wouldn't use a Dyson vacuum cleaner, you know, the big vacuum cleaners from Dyson, to just suck everything out from that. And to just clean up all of this mess up. Somehow, I'm actually quite curious about, you know, getting things prepared for what, I don't know, the coldest time of the year, winter, obviously, which is where we're heading up towards now, even though we're in autumn time. There we go. That's more like it. I'm just going to straightforward spread up as much as I can. And I'm also going to brush away some of the seeds that didn't make it. There's a lot of bird food, there's a lot of bird seeds everywhere. A lot of seeds everywhere, which I don't think I'll be highly getting them towards that plastic container. I'm afraid they look like they've been trapped. Who knows? I don't know if I've contaminated the whole thing with like dirt and that sort of stuff. But there you go. This is what I filled up, and I'm actually going to put the tub in first. And I think usually the animals that often go first are the squirrels and the rats. They often come along and forage in these areas. I'll tell you what, I could have just bought both the bird feeder and the tub simultaneously at the same time. But anyways, I'm just going to put it right over here. There you go. That should straightforward do it like so. There you go. And I shall get through. There's a lot of plants taking over my garden. So look, guys, there's lots of zinnias right here. Cosmoses. There's actually one more thing. I actually totally forgot about the cosmoses. Now, I know they're in this sort of pink colour. Strangely enough, they often start in this sort of vibrant and bright-looking pink when they start blossoming. But then once they come up towards that result, they actually turn into like a very lightish, sort of pale-looking pink. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, the wind is blowing really, really hard today. Right, I'm going to go and get another bird feeder, which is of course the one I've just left, like so. Okay, I'm just going to, it's not clipping back that well together, but I'm sure, let me just see how this all works. Get out of here. Right, honestly, I'm just going to go ahead and put the bird feeder to where it was, obviously the trees. Okay, there's quite a lot of nasturtiums right here. I mean, I've already said that so many times, and there's a very weird sunflower head poking out. Right, I'm just going to go ahead and corner around. Yep, there's some beautiful zinnias here. Hopefully a nice zinnia head, seed head, will be straightforward popping out to spawn in and collect, and actually will be ready to get more seeds. I'm highly anticipating for that moment. I don't know how am I going to put my bird feeder. Maybe around here. Maybe that should be a bit more nicer at that time. There you go. Let's see how everything is all going to be like by the time when I'm inside. Oh man. can't talk today because there you go. Wind's flipping taking over my video. And what is this very weird long blue ribbon piece doing here? I've got no idea what is that. It might have been someone else's birthday party. That actually kind of makes me a bit suspicious, hey? But boy, we get a lot of things that just get blown around right everywhere as I go. Oh man. Oh dear. I mean, just look how windy it is outside at the moment here. I feel like I'm undecisive, but something caught my eye. We have got a harlequin ladybird that's perching on some more nasturtium seeds. I actually never noticed why. Has it been frozen dead in time? I'm not quite totally sure. Maybe if I shake it. I don't think... Is it alive? Oh, it's came up well and truly alive. That's quite interesting. I never noticed that. To be straightforward, well and truly alive. There you go. It's a beautiful two-spotted harlequin ladybird alongside with a sycamore seed. Or is it a maple seed? Oops. Sorry about that, little ladybird. I failed to put you back on the leaves here. Anyways, I'm just going to grab more nasturtium seeds. And I'll tell you what, guys. My garden is totally infested by nasturtiums. It is actually very, very insane. I'll tell you what I gotta say. Just hyper insane. Seeing so many flowers that I've just planted has actually spawned a massive cultivation of nasturtiums. Just massive. I'll tell you what I gotta say. It is just actually very insane. I'm straightforward looking around to see if there's anything else that I've grown in my backyard garden or any more seeds that I've just straightforward have seen. I'm actually quite surprised. I think the earlier you grow, the more seeds you're going to easily get. I have to highly suggest if you grow nasturtiums very early, this is what you get. This is the abundance of what you're getting. And it also proves to us that nasturtiums are by far the most simplistic plants to grow during, spring and summertime, because look at that. They not only cover the rest of the whole backyard garden, but they also tower others as well. It is just so insane, man. I mean, totally freaky deaky if you ask me. And there's some of the zinnias. I'm surprised that the zinnias have already been quite successful, but not as successful as the zinnia. Actually, the zinnias, I have to say, they aren't that successful than the nasturtiums. Same with the cosmos. Of course, yes, we've also got some tomato plants here as well. And I can see a few ripe tomato fruits here, but I don't think they're going to get ripe in time before winter hits. Because, I think we're going to be lacking in sunshine and warmth, even though tomorrow might be nice and warmer. But anyways, hey, I could tell what guys say. The amount of gardening so far has been quite, well, let's just say fairly rampant and fairly awesome at times. I somehow can't believe how much I've grown. Just a massive stunt of what I've pulled off. It's just amazing seeing so much plants that I've grown. The nasturtiums, the sunflowers, the zinnias, the cosmoses, everything in general. I have to say, I think maybe by next year, I'm not sure how long these nasturtiums are going to last through towards winter of 2026. Because I could tell you what, these leaves may no longer be on the planet for that much longer. And I can actually see a bit of decaying caused by caterpillars or aphids or slugs and snails. And obviously we haven't had that much rain in the summer, but as we are in autumn time, yes, we're finally back to where we are. Just incredible, isn't it? Even though the level of gardening time seems to decline at this time of the year, man, I think I've already spoken about this whole garden so many times it does not need to be repeated. But man, what I'm actually spooked by is the amount of nasturtium seeds, and I'm actually quite spooked onto how many there are, because I can actually just see quite hundreds, if not thousands, of these little blighters just poking right inside. It is just very insane. Wow, I can't believe it. It's like they've just given birth. That is actually incredible. Just a lot of seeds. I'm actually so surprised seeing that. And I'll tell you what, this is actually quite insane, The amount of nasturtium seeds is just quite groundbreaking. What a success. Just amazing to see that, guys. I mean, how long can I even stay here for? You know, I'm really spooked to see how much of that activity just keeps on going around across through my backyard garden. And oh yes, the cosmoses. Now, let me just go back to what was I actually saying here. I could have actually bought other shades or other colors of cosmoses, because I know I've got the most common style of color in a cosmos, which is of course light pink, but they also come in like well, let's just say like a plummy, purpley, sort of like a dark magenta sort of color. Some of which can also be like a darkish purple looking color, and others are just plain white. I think I could have just straightforward bought some other seeds which may also flower, you know, other different colors of cosmoses rather than just plain pink ones. I'm actually sort of thinking about trying to grow, you know, different unusual looking colors of cosmoses, because really I'm just sort of thinking, you know, it's a bit bland just having pink in my opinion, because just that color, it's a bit lifeless in terms of composition. In, you know, like the nasturtium for example here, that has done a much better job in composition, and so is the zinnia. But why hasn't my cosmos gone ahead and blossomed into different colors and just blossomed into that style of pink, which is a bit I don't know, a bit too bland for me. But then hey, you know what, maybe people can have their own say about it. That's what I'm saying here. Anyways, I'm gonna leave this video here. If you really enjoyed in this backyard garden video so far, tour thing, whatever it's called, I'm going to leave it as always. Please give this video a very good like. Subscribe for more of our videos in the future, and as always, thanks so much for watching, and bye for now.